So RedMagic is pretty much the last git standing when it comes to gaming smartphones. Now that ASUS has basically said bollocks to all of that malarkey, and this here RedMagic 11 Air is its latest pocket powerhouse. A more affordable alternative to its innovative RedMagic 11 Pro, starting from just 439 GBPs or 529 USDs. And according to RedMagic's press blurb, the 11 Air is enabling the youth to play without limits. Apart from when their mum tells them to put down their bloody phone and get to bed before they get a foot up their arse. And this phone is also enabling crusty old twats like me to actually think they stand a chance against said youth, moments before they spatter my testes right against the nearest wall. I've been enjoying a good bit of testicles spatterage this past week to thoroughly test out the RedMagic 11 Air, so here's my full review and what's been downgraded versus that Pro model. And let's begin with a swift bit of what you actually get in the box. Besides, of course, the RedMagic 11 Air, well, my review sample also came with a 2-pin charger, a lovely red USB cable, and oh yes, a bit of condom case action as well to wrap up your RedMagic 11 Air, ribbed no less, and that's your bally lot. Now, just like last year's RedMagic 10 Air, the 11 Air sports a more slender design compared with those Pro models, although obviously don't go expecting a Galaxy S25 Edge style finish. The Air just looks and feels more like a regular smartphone compared with a gaming phone, albeit with the obvious bits of flair around back. It is exceptionally rectangular, similar to the S25 Ultra, only the slightest bit of curvature for those corners. But otherwise we're very much talking flat display, flat arse and flat edges. So not the most comfortable hand feel in the world, and at 6.85 inches it's a bit of a bugger to use one-handed as well. I'm more like doing advanced trigonometry after several shandies. Up front you've got Gorilla Glass 7i, which is impressively scratch resistant, and a pre-installed screen protector slapped on there too. You've then got a metal frame stretching around all of the edges. And around back a more basic bit of Gorilla Glass 5, which doesn't matter quite so much because obviously the back end gets slightly scratched, not as irritating as if the screen does. It's the usual transparent back end shenanigans as well, available in either black or white. And certainly despite that shiny glass surfacing, the white model does a great job of masking any grimy, greasy prints. So no worries if you've been gaming for a good few hours and your hands are getting a bit sweaty. You don't get full water resistance like you do with the Pro model. However, the RedMagic 11 Air is IP54 dust and splash resistant, so it's fine if you are starting to drip on it a bit, or you decide to play some Wuthering Waves in the drizzle. And I gotta say, personally, I rather like the aesthetics here on the RedMagic 11 Air. It's clearly a gaming phone, but it doesn't go over the top. Even those RGB shenanigans are fairly subtle, limited to the RedMagic logo there, and then another bit of lighting around the fan area. And as usual, fully customizable in the Magic 11 Air's settings, so you can have them constantly on if you want. Breathing, strobing, doing whatever you fancy. And these can come on when you're gaming, which is kind of pointless because you won't actually see them in action. You can also use them as a notifications light, all kinds of stuff. Now, to actually unlock your RedMagic 11 Air, it is a basic optical in-display fingerprint sensor, but it seems pretty dependable so far, and as you can see there, quite responsive. Works a charm unless my mitts are a wee bit moist or a bit sticky or something. No questions asked. And you do have a bit of face unlock as well, which seems to work remarkably well considering it's an under-display selfie camera, although some dodgy lighting can occasionally throw it off. And then once you're in there, you're presented with a bit of RedMagic 11 slapped on top of Android 16. Unfortunately, RedMagic being a wee bit stingy with the OS updates here on the 11 Air, only guaranteeing 2 in total, although at least here in Blighty and across the EU, you've got 5 guaranteed years of security patching. And the base model comes with 256 gigs of storage. You can double that to 512 gigs if you've got a bit of spare cache. That's probably just as well because beasts like Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact are pushing 50 friggin' gigs these days. And the RedMagic launcher does change up the stock Android vibe a fair bit. The aesthetics are completely different, as you can see there. You don't have the Google Discover feed either. You've got the RedMagic board full of the usual random weird news story shenanigans. Quite a bit of crapware starting to creep on here as well, though, the likes of booking.bloodycom, Facebook, obligatory AI shenanigans, naturally. and a respectable amount of customization as well, which is always good to see. Pretty decent selection of always on displays, including of course a good bit of Mora action. My favourite is severe facial tick Mora. And then up near the top of the left edge of the RedMagic 11 Air, you've got the Magic Key, nicely highlighted in red so it stands out. This can be customized to a small degree within the settings, but I quite leaving it on the default setting, opening and exiting the GameSpace. And if you press and hold this in, this pops up rather dramatically and noisily. And here you got a whole bunch of different gaming features and fast access to install games. And of course everyone's favourite shameless, scantily dressed assistant is back in action, good old Mora. Now with her own weird, pointless animated intro sequence.
This is Mora. The year is 2132. Our fleet is under attack by an alien civilization.
Oh God, she wants to do docking with me? I'm not sure you got the equipment for that, Mora.
Energy systems online. Long range teleportation ready. Confirm the destination coordinates now. Once you do, my strength is yours. And I'll stand with you against whatever comes.
Alright, I'm going to poke you there because it's telling me to. Please don't go running off to HR. Okay? And unfortunately, it is full-on AI voice action for Mora once again here on the 11 Air. Don't know why they changed it.
Captain, stop. Stop. I surrender. I surrender. HMPH. Ha ha ha, it tickles. It tickles.
Well, it's so bad. Anyway, when you finally get yourself into a game, you've got all of the usual RedMagic tools and features to play around with. Tons of stuff on here, including of course the obligatory performance mode, so you can swap it down to Eco if you're just playing something pretty chill. Boost all the way up to Rise if you want the maximum possible performance. You have full control of the cooling system, you can record the action, you can set timers, do not disturbs, all the basic stuff, but then you've also got a bunch of other features, some of which are exclusive to the RedMagic phones. Many of them geared towards online shooters to help you pick out your enemies more easily, especially when you're skulking around in bushes or lurking in darker environments. And as always, one of the best features of the RedMagic smartphones is the shoulder triggers. These aren't actual buttons, they're just touch sensitive areas up here on the edge. And as usual, in the settings you can customize what a tap of the left trigger and the right trigger actually does just by moving these icons about to the on-screen buttons. I usually just leave them at a single tap, but you can also further customize to a long press, rapid fire, etc. And these really do help to give you a leg up when you're embroiled in battle. They're 520Hz touch response, so basically the instant you tap them, you'll see the action replicated on screen. You do get haptic feedback as well. It's fairly weak, it's not a full-on rumble, just more like a slight tremble, shall we say, but you know, it does the job. Now, performance is one of the areas where RedMagic has trimmed things a bit compared with the Pro. You don't get the latest Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 chipset stuffed in here. Instead, it is the OG Snapdragon 8 Elite, over a year old now, but still a proper banger. And you've also once again got that Red Core chip version 4, which just handles some of the gaming features. Now, my review model of the RedMagic 11 Air came with 16 gigs of RAM as well, and I was unsurprised to see that the performance when I was gaming on the likes of Wuthering Waves absolutely flawless. I maxed out the graphics settings and I chucked it on that Rise gaming mode, and even when things got proper full-on intense and I had some massive great whopping dragon gate trying to slice me into tiny little sushi-sized chunks, the RedMagic 11 Air kept up with it all absolutely perfectly, 60 frames per second, non-stop. Okay, so over the course of several hours of gaming, including some sessions which lasted over 2 hours, the frame rate did occasionally dip into the high 50s. But even the most demanding gamers will be more than satisfied with this performance. And another downgrade for this Air model versus the Pro version is, of course, you don't get that posh liquid coolant text stuffed in here. Rather understandable given the ridiculously affordable price. However, to make up for this, that RedMagic coolant fan is once again back in action after being cruelly culled from last year's RedMagic 10 Air. This is the coolant fan running on the balanced mode, and you can just about hear it when you hold it close to your head, as my knackered old ears can just about pick up on a sort of a high-pitched tinny whine. And I found that having the fan on that balanced mode, combined with the fact that you've got the massive vapor chamber stuffed in here, all the usual graphene shenanigans, etc., that kept the phone more than cool enough for extended periods on Wuthering Waves on that maximum graphics setting. This phone was getting ever so slightly warm to the touch. That was as bad as it got. But if at any point you need a bit of fast cooling, where you do have a specific mode you can activate in the settings as well. In this mode, the fan is clearly audible as long as you're sat in a quiet room like this. But obviously, as soon as you bump up the volume on your game, that just drowns out the fan anyway, so it's all academic. Could even be a lovely wee bit of white noise to help you get some kip. And tucked away in the fan settings, you can also have the fast cooling active whenever you're fast charging the phone. I also like the pause fan during calls option, so the person you're speaking to isn't like, what the bloody hell is going on? Are you on like a jumbo jet or something? And if you need to plug in while you're gaming because you're running low on juice, you've got a handy battery bypass feature. Just prevents the battery from charging up while you are gaming, just to keep the phone from getting super toasty. Now the RedMagic 11 Air seems to sport the exact same 6.85-inch OLED display as the RedMagic 11 Pro. And this is once again a proper full view effort thanks to that under display selfie cam, which is basically completely invisible. You can squint as much as you like, good bloody luck seeing that thing at all. And it's incredible how far this technology has come from the early ones, which were just blatantly obvious. And the screen pretty much fills that front end as well. You've got a 2688 by 1216 pixel resolution, so visuals are nice and crisp. And it's a powerfully bright panel as well. If we just max out that brightness, as you can see, it does a pretty damn good job of countering even really strong glare from these rather fierce studio lights. It works just as well outdoors. You've got punchy colors, sharp contrast, and the refresh rate now maxes out at 144 Hz as well, which is an upgrade compared with the previous RedMagic 10 Air, and this maxed out at 120 Hz. Although, to be honest, my old man peepers absolutely cannot tell the difference between 120 Hz and 144 Hz. I've tried really hard. Maybe if you're one of them youths, you might appreciate it. And once again, the RedMagic 11 Air supports frame rate boost for games like Genshin Impact and Call of Duty Mobile, so you can get them running at a silky smooth 120 frames per second, really close to that threshold. And with this switched on, the Call of Duty experience beautifully fluid. You've also got 960 Hz touch sampling support here on this display, so you'll see an instant response from all of your pokes, swipes and frantic jabs. And that, plus those shoulder triggers, meant I actually stood a bloody chance against legions of unwashed school kids. And you got yourself a stereo speaker setup here on the RedMagic 11 Air. They're not front firing speakers, sadly. It's basically just an earpiece speaker for that top one, and then an edge-mounted speaker at the bottom. That bottom speaker positioned up near the shoulder triggers, so I didn't find myself accidentally muffling it while I was gaming. And as you heard when I loaded up GameSpace earlier, powerfully loud when you max out that volume, absolutely no worries. Reasonably crispy and a respectable amount of bass as well, so I was quite happy just using the speakers when I was gaming, because you can hook up some Bluetooth earbuds or Bluetooth headset or whatever you want to as well. Bluetooth streaming absolutely perfect on this thing. No headphone jack, sadly, so you can't get wired in. And as for the battery, well, it's almost as big as the Pro model here, 7,000 milliamp hours. Still massive, to be fair, and a big upgrade over the 6,000 mAh battery of the older RedMagic 10 Air. And even when I maxed out the settings on Wuthering Waves, put it on the Rise performance mode, and everything had that fan going, of course, I found I still got 5 full hours of Wuthering Waves action before a 100% battery was drained. A pretty solid showing overall, and right up there with the very best flagships right now. And of course, if you're playing something a lot less intensive, something like a PUBG or a Call of Duty Mobile, you can expect at least double that playtime from a full charge. Now, if you do need to juice it up in a jiffy, well, no worries. You've got 80 watt wired fast charging, so bung a cable with a supported adapter in it and you'll be waiting less than an hour to fully charge it back up again. Although sadly, bugger all support for a bit of wireless charging. And of course, let's face it, nobody buys a gaming smartphone for the camera tech, but let's finish up this RedMagic 11 Air review with a bit of a squint at the optics. And they seem to have recycled the camera sensor from the previous RedMagic 10 Air, so it's once again a 50 meg OmniVision OV50E with optical image stabilization. However, you do also have a more basic 8 megapixel ultra-wide angle shooter, as an alternative and bugger all telephoto action. You got lots of features packed away in here, including the ability to swap to gorgeous mode, which is basically just more vibrant colors, etc. Visual timers and countdowns, and if you swap to the Pro mode, you got full-on manual control, so you can fiddle with the ISO levels, white balance, shutter speed, and capture images in RAW. And here's just a small sampling of photos that I snapped around the homestead. It's a perfectly fine snapper just for everyday shenanigans. The obvious limitations in low light and if your subject can't keep still. And if you want to, you can use that main sensor to capture 4K resolution footage at 30 or 60 frames per second, no 120 FPS option here. Otherwise, you can also boost it up to 8K resolution at 30 frames per second. That's absolutely fine for your general video chats or a bit of vlogging action if you fancy some of that. Stabilization's pretty decent and the audio pickup is good. And then around front, of course, you've got that 16 megapixel selfie shooter, which is once again squeezed away underneath the display, hidden from sight. And unfortunately, yes, this does give everything a kind of a smudgy, fuzzy vibe, kind of like you've smeared a bit of Vaseline on that lens before taking a photo, which I'm quite happy with as a craggy-faced old twat. But yeah, if you want to do a bit of vlogging with that selfie cam, well, it ain't great. It does max out at full HD resolution at 30 frames per second. There's not even a 60 FPS option with that, and absolutely sod all 4K, because frankly 4K would be utterly pointless anyway. It does struggle with HDR type situations, as you can see there. Good old Mr. Space Invader at the back there has kind of got this ethereal glow on the go. And here's a handful of RedMagic 11 Air selfie samples, all showing off a frankly hideous amount of crunchy, what I can only imagine as AI sharpening shenanigans. And there you have it, my lovelies. That's my full final frank review of the RedMagic 11 Air. And I gotta say, I rather bloody like it. It's an absolute cracker at this price point, especially. Some smashing performance, excellent battery life, gorgeous display, some cracking hardware all around, really. The software side of things, not the best. I'm not a massive fan of that Magic OS. You do get some slick customization chucked in there, and of course an excellent array of gaming features, including the built-in shoulder triggers and everything as well. So if you are a gamer, this will absolutely give you the best possible chance going in the likes of your Call of Duties, your PUBGs, etc. The only other thing is the camera tech is quite basic, but then to be fair, at this price point, outside of the likes of the Pixel 9a, you'll kind of struggle to find many smartphones that have banging cameras anyway. Well, anyway, that's what this haggard old gobshite reckons. But what do you think of the RedMagic 11 Air? Are you tempted? Definitely let us know down in the comments below. Now, hey, while you're down there, please do poke subscribe, ding that notifications bell, and have yourselves an absolutely ruddy, wonderful rest of the week. Cheers, everybody. Love you.